Breaking news on 41 Action News starts right now.
Breaking news overseas, an arrest in yesterday's terror attack in London. We're going to have the latest on that investigation. Protest erupts in St. Louis after a former police officer was found not guilty in the death of a black man. Response from Governor Greitens. And a decade after her disappearance, Kara Kopetsky will finally be laid to rest. But first, we start with breaking news in Kansas City. One person is dead after a shooting downtown. It happened at 12th Street and Pennsulvania, and that's where we find 41 Action News reporter Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, what do we know?
Well, Jade, this happened around 2:45 this morning. Police were called here to 12th in Pennsulvania to this parking garage. That's where they heard the sound of gunshots being fired, or rather someone reported the sound of gunshots being fired. When they arrived, they did find a man dead in a car. Police detained one person for questioning. The victim is a white man in his 20s, and we are saying this is still an active scene right now. We are starting to see police clear out. We did talk to one person that lives in this neighborhood earlier this morning. He says nothing like this happens here, and of course anyone with information on this is asked to call KCPD. Reporting in Quality Hill, Alyssa Donovan, 41 Action News.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jade Deacon in for Richard Sharp this morning on this beautiful Saturday morning. And after we've just been dry for so long, now we're getting some sprinkles today and have some more rain in the forecast, right, Jeff?
That's right. Thunderstorm chances are increasing, but not yet. Outside right now, we do have a few little rain showers. Very interesting shot here on our security bank camera. Partly to mostly cloudy. These little streaks out of these clouds. Those are the little rain showers. So you drive underneath one of these, you need the windshield wipers for a couple of minutes, and then it moves on. And that is the story here for the next couple of hours. The heavier activities in Iowa, Nebraska, into north central Kansas and southeast Nebraska. That's where the lightning is. The scattered showers and thunderstorms, nothing really that heavy. In our area, we just have a few showers, and they are in the dissipating phase at this time, but they're around. North of Topeka, there's been a little lightning. Up into northwest Missouri, a little more substantial shower activity. You're talking a trace to a few hundredths of an inch around here for the morning hours. And so between now and 10 a.m., those few showers and thunderstorms around, then becoming breezy, windy, very warm and humid this afternoon. And then after 8 to 10 p.m., that's when the thunderstorm chances increase, first to the north and west. We'll look at some new data and time it out for you here in just a few minutes, Jade.
We continue following some breaking news in Great Britain. British police have arrested an 18-year-old man in connection with that London terror attack. That attack left more than 20 people hurt on a subway. ISIS claimed responsibility after a homemade bomb exploded on a packed subway train yesterday.
I just looked to my left and I just see like a herd of people just running down. Obviously, I'm not trying to find out why exactly they're running, so I just started to panic myself. I started to run out.
I was just saying to myself, keep up, right? Because either you're going to be crumpled to death or you've got a madman behind you. Because I still didn't know what was going on.
The British Prime Minister says the country increased its national security threat level from severe to critical. That means another attack could be imminent. And at least 8 police officers are hurt after heated protests picked up in the streets of St. Louis overnight. Police arrested at least 23 people in this. The protest started after a former police officer was found not guilty of murder. Earlier, video captured protesters clashing with police. You can see pepper spray there. This all came after Jason Stockley was acquitted in the shooting death of Anthony Lamar Smith. The father of Michael Brown expressed his frustration after losing his own son at the hands of police.
Yeah, I know this ain't right. And y'all continuously to do it. You know what I'm saying, to us, man. Like we don't mean nothing, like we rats, dogs, trash in the street.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
Our lives do matter too.
Governor Greitens is responding to the overnight protests. He was in St. Louis for the judge's ruling.
You know, our mission remains the same, and that is to protect everyone's constitutional right to peacefully protest. And at the same time, we're going to protect lives, we're going to protect homes, and we're going to protect our communities. Violence is not going to be tolerated here in the state of Missouri.
We want to show you some new video that shows the police chase that led up to Smith's death in 2011. Officer Stockley and his partner suspected Smith was involved in some sort of a drug deal. During the chase, court records show the officer said he was going to kill Smith. When Smith crashed, The officer shot him 4 times after he says Smith reached for a gun. Well, reports say the officer grabbed a gun from Smith's car to remove its ammunition, but forensic analysis showed only the officer's DNA was on the gun. In an interview newly released, Stockley, who now lives in Houston, told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, quote, "Everyone wants somebody to blame, but it's just not me." Still ahead on 41 Action News today, this tiny house is causing some big controversy in Blue Springs, why the Homeowners Association says it's got to go.
Hi, I'm Toby Tobin. Coming up, a couple of basic tips that will help you make your lawn better than you could ever imagine.
It's 7:05 on the Saturday morning. You're watching 41 Action News, clear complete coverage.
Good morning. Outside, looking out our Nebraska Furniture Mart camera over the Children's Mercy Park. Big game for Sporting KC tonight. Some clouds out there, little streaks you can barely make out. There's a few showers and sprinkles out here across our area. They are in a weakening phase. The thunderstorms are out near Concordia, and they'll stay to our west for today. This is not moving in for a while, not for several, like 12 more hours or so, or more than that. Those will stay out there, and for us, just a few little showers. So if you're headed out to Sporting KC, 7 o'clock, 81 degrees. It begins at 7:30, a lot of clouds, but as we go through the game, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we'll start to see a few showers and thunderstorms possibly in the distance or approach, and so something to keep an eye on there as you're either towards the end of the game or heading home. So you might want to bring the rain gear out to Sporting KC just to be safe. Will you need the rain gear for the Chiefs game and tailgating? We'll look at all that here in a few minutes, Jade.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, it's a girl's dream come true, a beautiful playhouse in your own backyard. But tonight, a battle is brewing over it with the HOA. 41 Action News reporter Kat Reed explains why.
This tiny house is at the center of a huge controversy in the Rock Hill neighborhood of Blue Springs. And while the fight surrounds a little girl's playhouse, it's anything but child's play.
We have a lot of fun.
Nestled in the backyard of a Blue Springs house sits a little girl's dream playhouse.
We plant stuff sometimes.
Filled with flowers, books, and crafts.
And I got my Play-Doh stuff.
A small house for a 6-year-old girl named Emma.
This is your favorite thing that you own, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my world.
And Emma means the world to her family.
Ask anybody, they'll tell you. She's everything to our family.
A family that almost lost Emma to a serious autoimmune disorder. Because of her illness, Emma goes to her tiny house each day for breathing treatments.
It's her safe place.
But Emma's safe place is at risk of being taken away. The Homeowners Association says this playhouse violates its no shed policy.
Our HOA bylaws say you can't have a metal shed, but it doesn't say anything about a playhouse.
Goolsby says both she and her realtor were told they could bring the playhouse. They asked before buying their house. But in an email sent on Sunday, the Homeowners Association said the playhouse has to go, adding, quote, "We would prefer not to take legal action, but will move forward if not resolved."
It's sad that they're picking on a child's playhouse.
Other neighbors don't seem to have a problem with the so-called shed.
It's never been a problem for me.
I would love for her to have it.
Late Friday night, the Homeowners Association told 41 Action News, while it approves of most wooden playsets, the playhouse remains in violation of its rules. Rules they say the family had prior to buying their home.
My books and my arts.
But the Goolsbys aren't giving up yet.
If I have to remove it, she'd be devastated.
In Blue Springs, Kat Reed, 41 Action News.
At a recent HOA meeting, the board heard the family's appeal but decided to stay with its original decision. Still ahead on 41 Action News today, now's not the time to give up on your lawn. We'll have more on how you can beef it up.
Well, the Royals making some different type of history in Cleveland. We'll tell you all about it coming up in sports.
It is 7:11 this morning. Beautiful Saturday morning. Some clouds out there, but looking good. We'll be back in just a little bit. It's a nationwide debate hitting closer to home. A local high school is agreeing to make some changes to its mascot. Shawnee Mission North decided to keep the Indians mascot, but they are going to make some changes to their pregame ceremonies. Now, the student who plays the Indian chief will no longer wear a headdress. The student who plays the Indian will no longer kneel before him during those ceremonies. One parent says she sees the mascot as a way to educate students.
teach the kids about the Native American people. Teach them their values. Teach them what it was about, their struggle.
Some believe the mascot perpetuates stereotypes against Native Americans. The Royals are on the opposite side of history after last night's win in Cleveland. 41 Action News sports anchor Dee Jackson has the highlights.
Well, good Saturday morning to you. For the last 22 games, no team has been more dominant than Cleveland. Well, the other night, the Royals came close to shutting down the runaway Tribe, but the wheels fell off the bus in the 9th inning, and the Royals would lose 3-2. Last night, Royals trying to waste no time getting things started on the right foot. In the 2nd inning, Alcides Escobar smashes a solo shot to make it 1-1, his 5th of the year. But later in the 3rd, one on for Jose Ramirez, 425 feet off of Jason Vargas. Tribe goes up 3-1. And then at the top of the 4th, it's Brandon Moss's turn to get into it. He smokes one to center field, and the Royals cut the lead to 3-2. He now has a 6-game hitting streak. He has 4 home runs in those games. Top of 5th now, Eric Hosmer at the dish. Base hit to left field, chugging around with a bad quad and all. It's Lorenzo Cain, beats the throw, slides in. The Royals get on the board once again, and, well, they're tying the game up at 3. No Kelvin Herrera, but they came in to close the door. It was Mike Minor getting his first career save, and the Royals snap that streak at 22. Congratulations to the boys in blue. 4-3 the final score. Jason Vargas gets win number 16 on the season. Sporting Kansas City will begin its 4-game homestand against the New England Revolution later on today. Yesterday, they introduced the newest member of the club. 17-year-old Jalen Lindsey is a product of the Sporting Academy. He becomes the 3rd youngest signee in club history.
There's this look in his eyes that he has no fear.
I've heard great things about Sporting KC with friends of like Will Little and Felipe Hernandez, members of the Swope Rock Rangers. They came before me, and then they told me about it, and so I just came out here and tried it, and I loved it ever since. So.
Looking forward to seeing some big things out of that young man for many years to come. Hey, speaking of many years to come, Friday Night Football has been on a roll, and it's been going on for a long time. When we come back, we'll check in on our big game matchup and check in on all the action when sports continues.
Thanks, Dee. We'll look at the weather for Sporting KC and the Chiefs in a minute. Beautiful sunrise here on our American Century Investment Skyview Network. Look at that. Sun going through the outdoor cumulus clouds. There's some haze. There were a few little streaks out there coming out of the clouds. Those are a few little rain showers. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, will it be gorgeous for the Chiefs game? There's definitely some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll look at that in a minute. Right now, the main rain is across Iowa and Nebraska, extending down into north central Kansas, where there's some showers and thunderstorms. For us, it's just a few rain showers and sprinkles, and they're already beginning to dissipate. And these showers and thunderstorms will not reach us. They'll stay off to the north and west, as we just have a few sprinkly rain showers. So overall today, it's going to be a dry day in Kansas City. However, a cold front will be approaching, and this cold front is significant. 90 in Wichita, 87 in Kansas City this afternoon, 91 in Des Moines, but 68 in Omaha, 61 in Valentine, Nebraska, even 55 in Rapid City. So when this front moves into our area and interacts with the heat and humidity, showers and thunderstorms will be likely. However, I think it's going to hold off until after 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. So this afternoon we'll be in the 80s, even near 90 near Topeka and up towards Hiawatha. And as we go through the evening, a lot of outdoor activities. It looks good. Sporting KC begins at 7:30. This model does have the thunderstorms up to our north and west at that time, and even staying up there basically through midnight. However, this could be a little faster, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. So towards 9, 10, 11 o'clock, we'll have to see if these come in a little bit faster, and temperatures in the 70s. Then Sporting KC most likely gets their game in pretty good. What about the Chiefs? Well, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., there is a pretty good chance for some showers and thunderstorms right up to about game time, and then it begins to move off. And so I think the best chance of rain tomorrow is for tailgating, and then slight chance of rain during the game. Definitely bring the rain gear. And look at this, much cooler, only 71 degrees for the high tomorrow as that cold front moves through. But that front's going to stall, lift back to the north. More thunderstorms are possible tomorrow night and into Monday, and we go back into the warm, humid air. So yes, we need the rain, but the sprinklers off I turned mine off the other day, and even though we haven't had rain in 20 days, it's time to put the seed down and the fertilizer down, and you're going to get the free water beginning tonight. So the rainfall forecast the next 7 days, 1 to 3 inches, and even in a few locations could see a little bit more. And you need 1 to 2 inches of rain just to keep that yard green, but we need to get the fertilizer and the seed down, and the weather is becoming favorable for that. So for today, these few showers and sprinkles in the morning, noon 80, 4 p.m. 87, 6 p.m. 83, and then at 8 p.m. that's when that 30% chance of thunderstorms mainly to the north and west, and at 10 p.m. a 60% chance of thunderstorms again from the city northwestward. Sporting KC towards the end of the game and on your way home may have to deal with some rain. And then on the 7-day forecast, there's that chance of rain tomorrow, mainly in the morning, and then Sunday night, Monday there's a chance, and then even into Tuesday night and Wednesday, all of a sudden now there's a chance of rain almost every day.
Well, we need the rain.
We do.
Not during the Chiefs game.
We can, you know what, that's the way it looks now. Things can change. We'll do some nowcasting tomorrow too.
Yes, make sure you're watching tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
Right here. All right, thanks, Jeff. A family wants answers after a husband and father disappears. His body found months later at KCI. Plus, Kara Kopetsky will be laid to rest a decade after she went missing. You're watching 41 Action News, clear complete coverage.
Hi, I'm Toby Tobin. A couple of weeks ago, we verticut and seeded this lawn. It's looking great, but it's not time to put those yard tools away yet. This is the last weekend to put down fescue seed and fall starter fertilizer. Any later, you risk wasting your time and money because it might freeze out. If you've already fertilized with the starter fertilizer, it's time for your next step in fall fertilization. Now's the time to apply an application of Winterizer. Winterizer fertilizer releases nutrients more quickly to help thicken your lawn up now. And if you have seeded your lawn, make sure you water in the fertilizer the day you apply it. The next important step in getting your lawn back to beautiful, lowering your mowing height. Your mower needs to be set at 2.5 inches. The lower mower height will help your grass rhizome, tiller, and fill in through the fall quicker. Finally, Gary's been pointing out how dry it's been. If you're not watering, get out there with those sprinklers. Lawns need 1 inch of water per week. Use a rain gauge and water at least 2 times per week to apply an adequate amount of water. You need to do this every week until we receive rain. Remember this, many sprinkler system companies winterize systems, shut them down in November. You may need to water clear up until Christmas. Have those sprinklers ready. That's it, I'm Toby Tobin. See you next week.
Well, hopefully we'll see some of that rain this week. We'll talk to Jeff about that in a little bit. Still ahead on 41 Action News today. The fallout continues after the massive cybersecurity breach at Equifax. The 2 executives who are now saying goodbye to the company.
Toby, the rain chances are around the corner. I'm putting the fertilizer down today. Outside right now, just a few little showers. We'll time out the more significant rain coming up here in just a few minutes. You're watching 41 Action News, clear, complete coverage.
41 Action News starts right now.
A man found dead in a downtown city parking garage. I'll have the details coming up.
Plus, a brewing controversy in Tonganoxie, why residents are talking to their politicians and telling them they don't want Tyson's Foods there. Good morning. Welcome back. I'm Jade D-Good. I'm here in for Richard Sharp. He's off this weekend. Yep. And man, I was just telling you, we're building a deck. So we have nice big holes in our backyard right now, just in time for some rain.
I know. We've been dry for 20 days. And yeah,
we need it.
The rain,
lawn definitely needs it.
I know. The rain is just around the corner, but not yet. A beautiful morning here as we look at our power and lights camera and at just a few out the cumulus clouds and a few little sprinkly rain showers. And the most significant rain this morning has been along and north of I-80 across Nebraska and Iowa into the Dakotas. And there's an extension down into eastern Kansas and western Missouri. And the most rain with the extension down south is well to our west, from Wichita to Concordia. A few showers and thunderstorms. They'll stay out to the west today. And for us, there's a few sprinkly rain showers that are already in the dissipating phase, and we're looking at pretty good. So a few showers and sprinkles till about 10 a.m. and then 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. breezy, very warm and humid. It's after 8 to 10 p.m. That's when the thunderstorm chances increase. We'll look at that new data and time it out. We've Sporting KC, we've got the Chiefs, got the Renaissance Festival. We'll look at all that here in just a few minutes, Jade.
All All right, thanks, Jeff. And back to that breaking news here in Kansas City. One person is dead after a shooting downtown. This happened at 12th in Pennsylvania. That's where we find 41 Action News reporter Alyssa Donovan with the latest. Alyssa?
Well, police are still on scene. This happened around 2:45 this morning. Police were called here to the sound of gunshots being fired, and I'll show you exactly where this is happening. It happened in this parking garage here at 12th in Pennsylvania, and that's where police were called to. When they arrived, they did find one man dead in a car. Police have detained one person for questioning. The victim is a white man in his 20s. Right now, we did just see a tow truck pull up. We're not sure exactly which car that is pulling out. We have seen police and forensics taking pictures of a car in this parking garage, so we are waiting to learn more information. If you do have any additional information on this situation, you are asked to contact KCPD rather. Reporting in Quality Hill, Alyssa Donovan, 41 Action News.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. We'll keep following that for you. Now a family is demanding answers after a father's body was found in a car at KCI. Randy Potter disappeared back in January. His family says they went to the airport to look for his car, and an airport police officer said that they would check. Potter's body was then found earlier this week.
It is also a breach of security. This is an airport. How can you leave a car there for 8 months? How safe is this airport?
Police have ruled Potter's death a suicide. The city released this statement saying in part, "We are working with all parties to determine the facts involved." And a decade after a teen's disappearance, her parents will finally get to lay her to rest today. 17-year-old Kara Kopetsky disappeared back in 2007 from Belton. A mushroom hunter found her remains in a Cass County field this past April. This morning, her family will hold a visitation. That's from 10 to 1 p.m., followed by a memorial service. She will be laid to rest at Mount Moriah Cemetery. And a new image shows just how far scientists believe a North Korean missile could reach. The Union of Concerned Scientists predict a possible range of 4,100 miles. That means it could reach the U.S. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is vowing to complete his nuclear weapons program despite UN sanctions. It comes after North Korea fired a ballistic missile that flew over Japan and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. The launch prompted the United Nations Security Council to schedule an emergency closed-door meeting. The U.S. says it's counting on even tougher sanctions.
You have to look at how much has been cut off. They've already started to feel it, but they're getting ready to feel 90% of their exports going away, 30% of their oil. Imagine what that would do to the United States.
President Trump will head to the UN on Monday. 2 executives are retiring from Equifax. This in the wake of a massive cybersecurity breach. The company's chief information officer and chief security officer are leaving. Equifax is working closely with the FBI in its ongoing internal investigation of the situation. The breach has affected 143 million people, and nearly 200,000 credit cards have been compromised. 3 former Google employees are suing the company for gender pay discrimination. The women say Google offered fewer promotions to women on top of lower pay. The lawsuit comes during a Labor Department investigation. Google denies the allegations and says it has systems in place to prevent pay inequality. Well, we haven't even reached the official end of summer, but the holiday season is already upon us. You can see it all over the stores. Target is the first to announce its seasonal hiring plans. The Now's Annie Taylor takes a look at the positions you could find and who may be up next to be posting that help wanted sign.
Target is the store to beat this holiday season. They're hiring 100,000 people to fill holiday seasonal positions. That's up 40% than last year.
Target is the first big company to announce its hiring plans for the busiest shopping season of the year. Target says many of its seasonal jobs include things you might expect, like stocking shelves and ringing up customers. But this year, it's also adding 4,500 jobs at its distribution centers in anticipation of more online orders. And they plan to offer direct shipping and pickup from more than 1,200 stores, so some of those jobs would focus on filling those orders.
If Target's hiring plans are any indication of this year's job opportunities, well, get ready for other big-name companies to follow suit.
Last year, Amazon hired an extra 120,000 workers for the season, and UPS brought on 95,000 more employees to help out.
Target seasonal hiring begins this fall. You'll want to make sure you check with your local Target to find out when your hiring event is, but a lot of seasonal positions turn into full-time positions after the holidays. For the Now, I'm Annie Taylor.
Well, we did some checking for you, and the hiring event here in Kansas City metro area is October 13th through the 15th. Hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. All Target stores in our area are holding these in-store hiring events, and you may have an opportunity on the spot to get an interview. They also may offer you a job during this event. You can also apply in advance if you'd like to on their website. You just have to type in your location and apply that way. A health alert this morning. The salmonella outbreak linked to papayas has killed 2 people. The CDC says Maridol papayas imported from several different farms in Mexico are the source of this outbreak. 235 people in 26 states have gotten sick from these. The CDC recommends against eating any of these papayas right now. If you don't know if you have one of these recalled fruits, just throw it out. Well, it's easy for granola to show up in your diet, but is the crunchy treat actually healthy? Granola contains healthy ingredients like oats, nuts, fruit, but it's also dense in calories. Some contain more than 300 calories per cup, so if you're watching those sugars, carbs, or calories, experts say you might want to limit your granola. They say a quarter of a cup is a good guideline. A consumer alert now. Mortgage rates remain at the lowest level of the year. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.78%. That's the same as the previous week, but it's way down compared to March. This award-winning $8 wine sold in the UK is coming to the U.S. Aldi will see the exquisite collection Côtes de Provence Rosé starting Wednesday. For 2 years running, the wine has been named the best value rosé at the prestigious International Wine Challenge. There you go, Jeff.
And get a bottle of rosé wine, get up on a hill, and look at this sunrise. Absolutely gorgeous. Will the weather stay gorgeous for the Chiefs game? We'll look at that new data coming up here in just a few minutes.
Good question. Well, residents in Tonganoxie not so happy about a new Tyson food plant coming to town. How they're hoping to stop it. And it's one of the KCK's most historic neighborhoods. We're going to have more on what new changes are on the way. It's 7:38 this morning. You're watching 41 Action News.
3 days without punching a time clock. 3 nights ago and non-stop.
I got to tell you, we had some fabulous football matchups last night, and how about some battles of unbeatens? Lawrence, Free State hosting Park Hill. Free State coming out smoking in the first quarter, not wasting any time. Quarterback Jordan Preston finds Cole Phillips in the end zone. Free State just getting started. Preston goes up top, this time to Keenan Garber on the 34-yard touchdown catch. It's 14-0 Firebirds just like that. Park Hill finally gets on the board in the second quarter. Cole Gonnier and Jalen Turner tackle the runner in the end zone for the safety, but Free State gets the 21-16 upset victory. Lee Summit West facing Lawrence, 1st and 30. Lawrence quarterback Dante Jackson rolls right, takes it himself, going all the way for the touchdown. It's 7-0 Lions, and things were just getting fired up. Second quarter now. Phillip Brooks runs for a 79-yard touchdown score. It's 21-14 Lawrence, but later on Jackson getting back into it again. This time Ikao Boydo. It's a 32-yard touchdown pass to make it 28-14. Lawrence still leading. 16 seconds left in the half. Ben Coble to Marcion Marshall for the touchdown. The Titans beating up on the Lions 49-35. Kearney hosting Liberty North in the first quarter. Eagles quarterback Taylor Baton keeps it, powers his way through, and that's 5 yards for the touchdown. Liberty North goes up 7-zip. Later, near the end of the quarter, Baton sneaks in the end zone for another 6, and Liberty North beats Kearney 14-6. Rockhurst versus Shawnee Mission East, and we'll take you to the second half. half. Third quarter, Andy Maddox takes the ball up the middle to take the lead for the Lancers, 17-14. On to the fourth. The ball is handed on off Blake McCandles, and he powers his way in for the touchdown, putting the Hawklets up 21-17, and that's how it would wind up. That's the final score, 21-17, Rockhurst over Shawnee Mission East. And just in case you missed it, here's a few more scores from around the metro. And don't forget, it was a great week for the high school kids, but college football returns. Mizzou, K-State, and KU all in action. We'll have plenty of highlights for you coming up later on this evening. Until then, that'll do it for your look at sports. Have a fabulous Saturday.
Well, as we do every weekend, we have a special pet here. It's part of our Pause for Pet segment. We have Casey with Wayside Waves and Maggie. Talk a little bit about Maggie.
Yeah, this is Maggie. She's a 3-year-old shepherd mix. Sweetest dog ever. Happy, as you can see. Loves bacon. She's been eating all morning long.
Lucky.
Yeah, she's looking for her forever home. So if you're in the market, definitely swing by Wayside Waves.
Awesome. And then there's a big event coming up. Is that correct?
Yes. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be out at Brookside for Strut with Your Mutt. It's the 27th annual. You can either walk, you can run, whatever's best for you. You can bring your dog. You don't have to. Family, friends, everybody's welcome. There's going to be vendors, food, games, a lot of fun going on. And you can get on waysidewaves.org to register today. Or if you want to wait until tomorrow morning, there is a $5 additional fee, but you can still register in the morning.
Perfect. And I know we were worried about some rain, but it looks like it might be okay for that morning.
I think it is going to be okay, which is great news.
Very good. And then you can also adopt Maggie, right?
Yes, of course you can. Yes, again, at waysidewaves.org, you can see Maggie and all the other available animals.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Casey. Thank you, Maggie, for being such a good sport for us this morning.
We'll try to keep that rain out of the Sunday morning forecast, but it is going to be a tough one to do that because we've also got the Chiefs as well and tailgating. Right now, there's just a few sprinkly rain showers outside, and it really is making for a beautiful sunrise. Some alto-cumulus clouds and a little bit of haze, and then also a few little rain shafts as well. Some crepuscular rays there coming out of the clouds. Pretty neat, and it's comfortable out there, 73 degrees, a little humid, south wind at 13 miles per hour. The main thunderstorm activity has been mainly along and north of I-80 overnight, but there's been a little southward extension into Kansas, and the heavier showers and thunderstorms with that southward extension have been from Omaha to Concordia down to west of Wichita. They'll stay out there for today. In our area, we've just had these little sprinkly rain showers, and they are weakening and dissipating, and I think today is really just going to be a mostly dry day, very warm and humid as we await a pretty decent cold front